Hello there, I'm Dr. Susie Harris. I'm the owner of Cedarwood Natural Health Center. Welcome to our practice where we help you figure out some of the underlying causes that might be keeping you blocked from getting your health back on track. Congratulations, it sounds like you booked a new patient visit with us to come check out what we're doing here. Autonomic Response Testing is the name of the method that we're going to be using to help get some information from your body directly to try and understand what's happening. So let me just give you a quick rundown of what you're going to experience your first day here with us. Of course, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to have you fill out some forms so I can get a health history on you. I want to hear about what's been happening, what have you tried, what's worked, what's not worked, and also what do you think it is? Because sometimes you have ideas that are actually quite accurate. Anyway, once we get your information, you and I are going to sit together and go through that health history and make sure that I have a good understanding of where you are now and what you're trying to achieve. Once the forms are filled out, you can do that before you get here, or if you come early, you can fill them out here. My staff will bring you back and they're going to do what's called a Quest 4 meridian scan. And there's a video in this email coming to you that explains what that is, so I won't take time here. But the short story, this Quest 4 scan is running energy through your system and picking up on imbalances that we can add to our session while we're doing some exploring with the muscle testing. Okay, so you'll fill out the forms, then you'll come back and you'll have this scan done. My staff will help you do that. And then I'll come in and you and I are going to go over your notes. We're going to look at your health history and just get a really solid idea of what's going on as far as where you're at now. Then we're going to get into the muscle testing. The autonomic response testing is a method that really lets us get information directly from your body, coming mostly from your nervous system, so we can go find out where are you off, why are you off, and what would we do about it. Okay, so if you've never been around muscle testing, I'm going to give you a little drive-by here on what it's about. So first thing I like to talk about is your nervous system. You have two parts to your nervous system: the voluntary side of your nervous system and the involuntary side of your nervous system. Okay, so the voluntary side is I'm going to reach over and do something. I do it on purpose. That's my voluntary nervous system control. Did something on purpose. The involuntary side is that side that's regulating heart rate, breath rate, digestion, your immune responses, hormones, all that stuff that our bodies don't consult us. The nervous system just balances and rebalances all day long, okay? Now that system has two parts again. One part is fight or flight, like a stress or sympathetic it's called. The other side is called parasympathetic, which is the regulating piece. So these two parts are working together all day long. If something stresses your body, that fight or flight goes up to deal with or respond to that stress. While that is up, the parasympathetic side goes down. So stress goes up, regulation goes down. You're not going to be regulating digestion if you're running from a bear, right? So fight or flight goes up, the regulation goes down. Once your stress chills out, this fight or flight comes back down, the para comes back up and starts re-regulating digestion and all that good stuff, getting your heart rate back down, resuming things. So that's how that side's working. Now, if anything drives that fight or flight into action, it could be an emotional stress, it could be a food you ate that your body doesn't like, it could be a toxin in your system. It could also be me testing on reflex points on your body, which I'm going to explain in a second. So let me say it this way. The voluntary nervous system, if I ask you to hold your arm strong, okay, good, nice strong arm. If I do something to stress your body, I wouldn't do this, but if I did pinch somebody, fight or flight goes off. And when that fight or flight goes off, that other part of your nervous system is pretty much checking in to see what was that stress. While that's happening, the voluntary side is a little bit dampened. So stress the body and the arm goes weak. So strong arm, voluntary muscle control. Stress your body, the involuntary side of the nervous system kicks in and the voluntary goes weak a bit. So it's not really a weak muscle, it's a nervous system reaction that happens based on the fact that we just stressed something. Okay, so how I will be stressing things is by touching acupuncture alarm points that are coordinated to organs and glands. Your sinuses, your tonsils, your thyroid, your heart. So if I happen to go over, let's say, your thyroid, and your arm goes weak, you may have perfect thyroid labs and you don't necessarily have thyroid disease, but your body's showing us something is stressing the thyroid. It couldn't handle the fact that we put pressure on it, just a light touch over its reflex point. Strong arm, go over the thyroid and your arm goes weak, we know something is stressing that thyroid. Now, how would we figure out what's going on there? What's the reason that thyroid is acting up? I'll show you. I have these test kits. These are homeopathic tinctures. We can talk about that when you're here. But these different vials have frequencies in them that represent different pathogens, bacteria, funguses, COVID, spike proteins from COVID. Also, let's see, chemicals, metals, certain foods. Okay, so there's a lot of different things that could be why an organ or a gland or an area on your body tests weak. So let's go back to it. If I test over your thyroid and your arm goes weak, and I bring these frequencies near your body and it changes to strong, the fact that it changed it tells me something in here is part of why that was weak the first time. Okay, so we'll go through here vial by vial and we're like, oh, look at that, it's a bacteria. Your thyroid might be testing weak because there's an old tooth that needs some help and it's creating an immune and lymph challenge in the throat area, and the thyroid's testing weak because of it. Okay, so strong arm, touch over a reflex, you go weak. I use my test kits to try and understand part of the why. Once we see why, now we can go start checking on remedies that might help. Okay, so let's say it was a bacteria. I have some herbs here, oregano oil, let's say. I bring that into your field and we check that thyroid and it goes weak again. We're like, that, I guess that's not going to be helped by oregano oil, even though it does kill bacteria. Let's try this other product I have that helps lymph in the area. If I bring that nutrient, it's either a vitamin or an herb or something, into your field and that thyroid goes strong, we know, okay, this would be something we'd use for you for a period of time. In the testing, the autonomic response testing, I find it fascinating that when you show me something's weak and then part of the why, whatever remedy strengthens that area gives us a little background. So your body said, help my lymph move through here and I'll take care of the rest. Don't give me something that kills bacteria. So I find it really exciting and awesome the way we can get underneath what's off and then listen to your body about how do we approach it. Okay, it's always about food in here. It's always about clean water, ample rest, moving your body, and then we use supplements to move along any issues that we found hung up in the body that are keeping you stuck. Okay, so muscle testing is part of how we get the information from your body. I want to show you one other thing. As a part of the autonomic response testing, we have these acrylic pieces that are cut to behave like an amplifier. So again, we'll talk about all the quantum physics when you get here. But this goes on this table above your head. You'll be lying on this massage table and we'll be working with you from there. You'll have your arm up and we'll be using your arm. But I put these plates above your head because they amplify things. And when I put anything on that plate above your head, your body is experiencing the energy of whatever I put on that plate, okay? So that's how we'll be testing different supplements and seeing which supplement's gonna help move this imbalance along that we saw, okay? So I think for now that's probably enough. There's way more to tell you, but it's too much for this video. So thank you so much for coming in to check this out. Thank you for filling out your forms. It's gonna be great to speak with you and get your story. That Quest 4 scan is gonna give us some data, and then we're gonna do some muscle testing and figure out what your body's trying to show us as a first layer at least. How do we help you figure this out, okay? I hope that makes sense. There's gonna be a lot more to show you, but I thought that first bit of data would be helpful so you can have a context when you get here. What the heck are we doing, okay? All right, take care of yourself. I really look forward to meeting you. Stay well.